What's up, guys? In this video, we are going to talk about something that people don't generally talk about when it comes to getting what they want in life, specifically what you need to sacrifice in order to get what you want. So what does that mean? What am I talking about? Well, stick around and I'll tell you. All right, cool. Okay, so first of all, welcome to my channel. If you guys like videos about health and fitness topics that are non-mainstream, a little bit out there, probably not the kind of thing that you hear on other YouTube channels or in the mainstream media, click subscribe because I try to make videos as often as I can. And also go check out my digital marketing channel where I talk about digital marketing. Cool? Okay, so in self-improvement, personal development circles, it's all about what do you want? What are your goals? What are you striving for? What are these targets that you have that you want to achieve? It's all about what you can get. It's all about taking, right? It's all about acquiring something, right? It's very rarely about what are you going to give up in exchange for that. And at the end of the day, one thing that you have to understand that will, I think, help you in this decision-making process is that you have to give up something. And oftentimes to get, it sounds like a cliche, but to get that ultimate thing that you want, you have to give up what means the most to you in this current moment, right? So what am I talking about? What does that have to do with fitness, right? It does, I promise. Okay, so basically here's what I mean. In order to, let's say for example, let's say you want to be fit, using health and fitness as an example, you want to be fit, you want to be ripped, you want to have big muscles, you want to look a certain way. What are you going to have to sacrifice in order to do that? Okay, I'm just thinking out loud here. Number one, you're going to have to sacrifice eating unhealthy food, right? That momentary pleasure that you're going to have every time you take a bite of food, whatever, some processed ice cream or whatever it is that's your guilty pleasure, you're going to have to give that up. Okay, now we can sit here and we can make arguments as for why it's good to give that up and why it isn't, but at the end of the day, does it really matter? No, I don't think it does. What matters is that you understand that that's what you're going to have to give up. And once you understand that, it's more of like a monetary exchange. You're just thinking, it's like you're making a purchase, right? You're bartering. You're saying, okay, I'm going to give this in order to receive that, right? So that's one thing that you're going to have to give up. Another thing that you're going to have to give up, let's say, is not all of the extra time, but let's say maybe 1 to 2 hours a day that you spend doing something else, probably some leisure activity where you're watching TV or you're watching Netflix or you're playing video games, or if you're let's say you're a stay-at-home mom, maybe that's time that you spend with your family, right? Now without getting too deep into the whole single mom issue, you need to understand that okay, do you really need to spend 9 hours a day with your kid? Is that really going to be the ultimate way for you to help that person in your life? Or do you think it would be better for you to go for maybe an hour or 2 hours or 30 minutes even to the gym or to do some sort of physical activity that would improve your health, improve your state of mind, and ultimately improve the life of that person who's close to you in many different ways as well? Okay, so one thing, side tangent here, but there's a quote by Nietzsche that says what is great, I'm paraphrasing also by the way, greatness is not suffering, right? Greatness is not necessarily sacrificing and bearing the cross, but greatness is being able to hurt other people and still continue on with whatever you did that hurt them, despite the fact that hurting them also hurt you, right? So that's obviously paraphrasing. I'm not saying you should go out and hurt people and be a sociopath or anything like that, but take the point, which is that sometimes in order to do what you know to be best for you and also best for the people in your life, sometimes that involves, hurting another person and causing them pain. Simple example, you have a 3-year-old, they want ice cream at the store, they're begging you for a Kit Kat bar or something, and you tell them no, and they start crying, that's hurting them, right? You could say it's hurting them, but ultimately, you know that if you give them that Kit Kat bar, it's not gonna be good for them, it's not gonna be good for you, it's gonna ruin their appetite, it's gonna make them fat, it's gonna cause stress in many different ways. So that's a very simplified example, but just kind of take the point, okay? So what do we have? You're gonna have to sacrifice the momentary pleasure of eating food, the time that you would spend not doing that. Another more meta example, I guess, is that once again, like using an extreme, like simplified example, let's say you're like the fat friend or the fat person in the group or the fat family member. There's all these kind of like mental ramifications of being that person. And when you start to visibly attempt to make a change, the crab bucket theory kicks into effect, and the people around you maybe, hopefully not, but maybe, they see that you're trying to better your situation, forces them to unconsciously look at what they're doing and think to themselves, well, if this person is trying to change in that way, then, well, if they're not the fat one, you know, and they make more money than me and I'm the fit one, then, you know, they're gonna be in better shape and make more money. Then what am I gonna be? What am I gonna have to offer, right? Maybe they're afraid that you're going to abandon them, right? Is what a lot of people say, like, oh, if you improve your social situation or your financial situation, what about me? Like, I'm not ready for that mentally. I haven't made those choices, so like you'll leave me in the dust. Okay, so you might have to sacrifice some of the friends that you're with, right? You might have to sacrifice some of your family members who in the beginning will probably, you know, I'm not saying will probably, but maybe they'll resist you. Maybe they will, you know, consciously or unconsciously try and bring you down to keep you in your place because that's what's familiar to them, right? You see this a lot with like husbands and wives, how they'll kind of keep each other in check. Is it super healthy? No. Is it biological? I don't know. But like at the end of the day, that's what happens. Who really cares why, right? We care more about the how. How are we gonna fix it? How are we gonna change it? So anyway, like what am I trying to say with this like giant ramble? What I would recommend that you do is you look at areas of your life that you want to change, let's say regarding health and fitness. You want a certain type of body, you want to lose a certain amount of weight, and you take an honest look at why you don't have that, and are you actually willing to sacrifice that, whatever it is, in order to get that, right? Sometimes the answer is no, you know, straight up. Just sometimes it's no, sometimes you're not ready, and until you are ready, then it's not going to change, and at least knowing that is going to get you one step closer, hopefully. All right, but maybe it won't, you know. Okay, so not to end on a like melancholy note or anything, you can do it, you can change. I'm here to support you. Maybe I don't really care, but like, no, I care a lot. Yeah, no, seriously though, reach out to me if you have any questions about anything. Like, I'm here to help. That's why I put myself out there, you know, not just to like talk without my shirt on in some like Vietnamese boxing gym. Yeah, no chickens, by the way. Okay, so if you guys like that video, you want to see more of my rambling with like weird opinions about stuff, snake dive videos, fasting, non-mainstream health advice, subscribe, like. If you have any questions, comment in the comment section. And yeah, that's it. Check out my digital marketing channel. Yeah, peace.